morning everyone, and welcome to Nat's Knackers Yard. The observant will notice that I'm not in my knackers yard, I'm in my car. It's time 6:30ish on a Sunday morning, the sacrifices I make. And I'm off to go and pick up the next project. I thought I'd give you a bit of a lead-through run-through on how we do it and what he's done. So as far as looking for projects, it's really seeing what's available. It's entirely market driven. I'm not normally a fan of scooters, although I am going to pick up a scooter here. This could be a bit of a bad mistake. It's got a bit of a dubious. It's got quite a few fail elements on its last MOT, which was 2 years ago. MOT attempt failure and then just put away. But it looks quite cool. So we'll see how we get on with it. So what I'm doing now is I am leaving my knackers yard and driving to the Zipcar pickup. Now, for those that haven't tried them, if they're in your area, give them a go. It's a really good way of doing it. It is by far the cheapest way of booking a hire car, a hire van, because it's done by the hour. So it's about, it was a tenner a year ago, but it's now up to sort of 12 quid an hour. You effectively book it online. We set up an account for free, book it online, search for time windows when you want one between these hours and these hours, hence getting up a little bit earlier, because this was a bit of a last minute decision. Because I live out in the burbs, there's not that many zip cars around here, so I got onto them from Charlie and the motorcycle rescuer. Now, you know, he's in central London effectively, so it's a damn sight easier for him because there's a lot more vans. So you're a little bit of a slave of other people that are using them, so I've got them for a 3-hour window this morning. So you drive to the vehicle, go on the app on your phone, click on unlock, and it unlocks the vehicle, and the keys are in the glove compartment. Do your business, drop it off where you got it. Fuel's all free, it's all thrown in. There's a fuel card in there in case you need to fill it up, but generally you don't need to. Park it up and off you go. There is a mileage limit, not that it stops you, you just pay a little supplement if you go over, and I think that's 60 miles. So, you know, effectively I'm looking at buying bikes within a 30-mile radius. Oh, you've slipped a bit there, not the best way of doing things. Okay. Yeah, so I've got like a 30-mile radius. Yeah, so that'll do. I've got in the back of my car, I'm going to need to buy some sort of lock for this. In the back of the car, I have my ramp, a few ratchet straps, and a couple of bungee cords. And let's see when we get to the back. Right, so there we go. I'm at the Zipcar, and got the app, and I want to do unlock. And click. Now I have already done a bit of a lap around the vehicle, looking for any, nothing in it, good, looking for any damage, and actually, quite surprisingly, there really isn't on this one. There's normally a few dents, but they run fine. Right, try not to twat the car next to it. Chuck my ramp in. That's got all my ratchet straps. We really are one-handed. Right. And it's that simple. Oh, hang on. Well, I'm there. Open it up. Keys are in a little caddy, a little green light, and you're good to go. Right, there we go. That's the bike picked up from a very nice, well, very nice, very chatty bloke. Yeah, who I just got out of bed. Slight concern, I didn't have a phone number for him and he wasn't answering. I'm like, oh shit. Didn't really just want to knock on a random door in case I hadn't got the right address, because it is, well, 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning, on a bank holiday Sunday morning. Yeah, so I'll obviously show you the bike when I get back, but it's a bit of a shed. It needs a fair amount, but hey, it'll keep me busy, and I think the one thing that has struck me as far as resale's concerned, and my own fascination with bigger bikes, oh, this is narrow, or slight snobbery onto bigger bikes, is the fact that it's a smaller market, because you need a full license. Well, you need an A2 license for the two Kawasaki's that I've got, the R5s. But yeah, so little 125 has got a considerably larger market, because obviously you can drive it on a plate, on an L plate. Come on, mate, I can't go anywhere. Yeah, and this one I think is quite funky. So why don't I like scooters? I don't like scooters because there's sodden plastic everywhere, which is ridiculous for me with my painting penchant. You would have thought I'd love them because there's loads of space to chuck paint on them, but no, and was chatting at Sterling Bikes getting my diversion MOT'd yesterday. The poor guys working there was basically struggling with overlapping bits of plastic and little tabs and screws and all sorts of things, and he was cursing his way through, and I felt quite sorry for him. This one though, as you see, is a lot simpler. So it hasn't got quite so many panels, although the ones it's got are quite big. They're actually quite good nick, mudguards shack, but I'm sure I can sort that out. Yeah, so what next? I am now in Hounslow, so I am 33 minutes away from home, which timing wise works quite nicely. So I am going to drive back, drop off the bike, throw it out the back of the van along with my ramp and my ratchet straps and everything else. There's a dog there with one of those lampshades on his head, it made me giggle. Yeah, sort that out, drop the bike off, then take the van back, drop that off, pick up my car and boogie on home, all of which should probably be complete by 10 in the morning, probably around the same time my missus gets up. Sunday is a lay-in day normally. Right, I'll catch you later. Right, so that's the van all done and all of that. So what's the end result? It's this. It's a I don't know, it's a Chinese 125, but it's a relatively funky one, I think. First impressions, first things first, I think it's hollow. It doesn't weigh a thing. Could almost pick it up and chuck it in the van, let alone use the ramp. So what, let's have a quick look over. It doesn't actually look too bad. Tyres don't look too bad, although I think it does have valve issues on both sides. I don't know if that's a crack on the mudguard or just the way it's put together. I knew that was going to fall off. That's a indicator. I'll put that up there before I stand on it and lose it. So one of those down. All of the chromes, cheap Chinese chrome, so that's pretty much gone. But that's not really an issue for me. Oh, look at that. It's got like a flip bit there. It's like a rudimentary handbrake. Fascinating. A nice little spike there for some reason, probably to kill local cats. Yeah, that front brake reservoir is shagged complete, and yet it's still got enough to brake. It's weird. Anyway, you're one of them. Yeah, where's the key? I had it a second ago. Okay, thanks Dave. I've already put one of my key rings on it. There's no power in it. What's on here? Fuel cap. Got me in there. Yep. It's not moved for a couple of years, so it's probably stale as you like. But it doesn't smell too bad actually, it doesn't smell too varnishy. But we shall see. So that locks, that's good. Seats. Excuse me. Trying to do these things one-handed doesn't help. Relatively tidy. Got no bolts there, so this should just push off. Yeah, bad but not horrendous. Throttle and cable that works. Surface rust, but not three bad. It's held together relatively well. Exhaust, I'm sure, should be mounted on something other than a wing in a prayer. There's no bolt in there. Oil. Cobwebs, Charlie loves cobwebs. Oh, looks quite clean. Whoa. Looks all over my floor. Yeah, oil looks quite clean. Right, cool. Grab a bit of sawdust, chuck that on. Obviously there is no battery in it, so let's try giving it some power, see if anything happens. Right, so my various selection of batteries all seem to be shagged, which makes sense because that's why they're not in bikes. But hey, so I've got it straight off my jump box. Remembering to pull the clutch in, which I always forget, so I've strapped it up. Let's give it a go. I've got lights, I've got indicators. Although they appear to be wanting to stay on at the moment, I've got no horn. Try it. Oh, nearly. Smoke out of the spark plug, never a good sign. Right, so fundamentally it works to a degree. Pressure issue. I'm going to have to get all this bodywork off, aren't I? I'm going to have to do something with it at some stage anyway. Right, so encouraging start. Let me just whip the power off. I like having wires trailing in places. Right, so what did I have? I got some activity, but I started to get some blowback from the spark, which probably means the spark plug's not in properly. To get to it, I could either arse around. I'm going to have to take this bodywork off at some stage. Why not go for it? Why not go for it, ain't it? Why not? So, get spanner in. I think it's the full shebang, so it's going to be that off, because that's bolted in. Holds the handles on, handles off, bodywork off, and then see what happens. But a cup of tea first. Okay, so that was actually relatively straightforward. Didn't break too much coming off either. That side panel's going to be a bit of a bitch because it hasn't really got any tabs left on it. Yeah, so got down to it. I thought, while I'm here, that spark plug was super loose. So it's not surprising that it was getting exhaust stuff out there. So it was really loose. So I think it just wasn't forming a seal. But before I piss around with that. I thought I might as well try a bit of a compression test while I had the spark plug and everything off. Oops. I find it's always better to stick a jumper cable on black to black, red to red, not the other way around, that you fool. Didn't quite connect it, so it didn't cause any issues. Right. Key. Right, take the spark plug out for a second. Right, so it is working. Let me get the throttle wide open and give it a go. That's not too bad. Around the 100. Less than that would have concerned me. I will look up to see what that should be. I imagine it's probably higher, but frankly, that'll do for now. It has still got the EGR on it, I've just noticed. So the exhaust gas recycling piece, oh, for fuck's sake, which I could happily delete now and now. Right, so I have compression. I did have a spark plug a second ago, which I've just put down. There we go. What sort of angle are you at? Good enough? Probably. Let's just see. That's really wobbly. Yeah, it's quite a good spark actually. Happy with that. Right. Just going to take the power off. Right, power off. I'm going to stick the spark in, tighten it up properly this time. It's not too bad, it's a bit burnt. Right. That C7HSA. Actually, let me check. No, worth a check, see if I had any. No. I'll order a new one anyway. But for now, let's just get that one back in. Too many tools out. Right, compression kit away. Or to the side. It's going to hack it down on me soon, I can feel it coming. Always trust tall bald men when it's raining, or when it's going to start raining, we know first. Right. It's nipped in a bit better. Right. Get the power back on. broken. Oh, just hit by the camera. Is it as smoky as you like? Get some WD on that. I forgot my tea. Cold tea, nice. Right. Excuse the dodgy camera work. I'm just trying to get you a slightly better angle. There we go. You can see the plumes of smoke. Try that again. That starts solenoid's dodgy, I think. Smoke's coming from. Right, well that goes a long way to explaining why the exhaust streams were coming out, and he had one bolt on it and that one was half on, so just chucked another bolt on and tightened up the other one. The exhaust looks okay. I mean, no, it doesn't look okay. The exhaust looks shite. but it's doing the function. There's no holes in it. Right, try that again, shall we? I don't think that's far off a car clean and done, and clean fuel. I wonder how genuine that is. 9,000 miles. Jesus, that's low. Yeah, I can see a fuel filter. In fact, you can see it right down the bottom of that. There's my finger. You can't quite see it. There's a fuel filter there. It's really dark, so the fuel that's in there is quite varnishy. So I'm not surprised it's slightly struggling, because it's using crappy fuel for a dirty carburetor. But I think if I find a way of... Oh, well, that's always interesting. Using kill switch doesn't play. It's just got crud all over it. Oh, that is the exhaust smoking. It's covered in crap, frankly. I'm not surprised. I don't think that's too loud. I don't think that's too anything. Yeah, I'm going to get a container, see if I can drain that fuel out. Clean the carb first, get the carb out and that, sort that out, and then see what the score is with it. But yeah, this is going quite well. Okay, so that's the carb out. I mean, it's quite clean on the inside. But we'll see what the bowls are like when I get in there in a second. But also the actual bike itself, it looks like something's nested in this at some point. It's pretty hideous, you can see under there. But hey, that'll all clean out fine. Nothing's jumped out to bite me yet. But the day is young. Right, let's get this bowls off, see what the state this is. Right, so that's one clean carb on. Charlie, I've reutilised some of the blue. I took it off the R5 because you could see it. And I'm now draining the fuel into a fully sanctioned Vanish petrol safe container. See, it's pretty yellow. But the last thing I want to do is pour any rotten fuel through a clean carb, so I'm going to let that drain. I'm going to dig around. I'm sure I've got some filters. Somewhere. Ooh, focus. Right, that's one thing I hate about scooters. I constantly bang my head on the sodding handlebars. Yeah, doesn't smell too bad. It smells a little bit varnishy, I suppose. I'll let that drain. I'm sure I've got some filters somewhere. I think they're bigger than that, but they should be fine. Right, let me dig them out. Okay, so to the background noise of kids on trampolines, I have, what have I done? I have flushed that tank. I put in a new filter. The only one that I've got is massive, but there's loads of space down there. Giving it half a turn over to, just start sucking the fuel through. So remember, it's a, I do need to tighten up the manifolds actually. I'll do those now while I'm talking. What was I saying? Yeah, so I've got a dry carb. Just turning it over to see whether or not the power works. I've chucked in a battery. I think this one's shagged because I wouldn't have a perfectly usable battery lying about, but it fits. Frankly, it fits in the oil. And I'd have it on charge. It does seem to be holding it at least for now, so I'll do for now. I'll just tighten these up. So that's the front one done. Onto the engine block, into the air manifold. Hey buddy. Right, so that's a bit tighter. Right, let's see if we get anywhere, shall we? I'm recording still? Yeah. Right. And that moment when you realise that you're being an idiot. And I'm not too big a man to admit it. I had the side stand down. When I was pissing around with the other side, I knocked it down. Right, let's try that again. That's with the air hose not on properly either. Let me nip that up and put that on properly before I start learning false lessons. That was really stupid. Probably could have left that big filter on. The new one. Hey. I can't be asked to swap it again, so I've got to drop the fuel again. Alright, that's that nipped up. Hold on. Job done. rear brake is almost non-existent. Rather happy with that. Look at that, done in a day. There's a bolt missing from that exhaust. I'm trying to work out where that's... It's got keck on the exhaust pipe that keeps burning off. I don't know if it's fresh keck or old keck. Give it a scrub down. I think it's just old baked on stuff that just keeps baking on. But what I'm kind of desperate to do is see whether or not it moves. How would I do that? I could just chuck the seat on. Let's have a look. Theoretically. It till it stops. That's just. On. Oh well, let me sort this out. I need to adjust the idle. Just realised I've just engaged the seat lock. I'll have a piss around with that later. So I can reach the idle under the seat. That's it, wonderful. All right. Well, I'm not going to claim that was the most assured ride in the world, but it moves. Oh, it certainly moves. I've got to work out where that oil's coming from because I think that's all fresh. It might just be what it was painted with before, you know. Didn't you? I just have to whip it off and see what I get. But no, I'm happy with that. Right, that's me for the day. I've had enough playtime, I think. Yeah, I think a successful day. It moves, makes the right noises. Tyres don't look all that bad. Its last MOT said something about the stems actually, which I do need to check on. The tyres don't look too bad, but frankly it would need new ones anyway. Yeah, I need to work out what this is and where that's coming from. I mean, for one, it's hot and I wish I hadn't just done that, but it kind of plasticises. So I've got a feeling it's just the paint that was chucked on it, just melting through. So there's no bolt on there. I do wonder what was ever on the top there, but it's only held on by the weight of the front, which is neither big nor clever. I've got to work out how to get that seat off because the lock's engaged. I'll poke something through, it'll be fine. Yeah, awesome. I now just need to work out how I'm going to do my garage with all of this kit and all these bikes. Right, stay tuned, follow the progress on this bad boy. I'm really impressed with a day's work or a morning's work. Cheers all, catch you later. And just when you think it's all over, you see a big oil drip there.
I'm guessing that's bad.
Not a good thing, bud. So that's one to track down tomorrow. I'm tracking it round the block. It's up there somewhere. I think that's behind the starter motor. Yeah. Oh well, that's me for the day. I'm going to get it put away. Make sure it's got a pan underneath it because that's quite a good one. And then have a look in the morning. Yeah, that's proper gushing. Arse cakes, what do you reckon, people? What do you reckon explains this? Because that's oil. But I can't see where that's coming from. What are your guesses? Because I really don't have the opportunity at the moment to dig it through. Cheers all, catch you later.